Welcome to Morning Jams on the Porch with Stephen Leake. I'm Stephen. It's Friday, May 30th, 2025, and I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great time making stuff. Well, it's been a fun week. It's a beautiful day out here on the porch. And Benji, my kitty cat's already come to say hey. You know, having a pet is a great way to learn something about ourselves as people and as human beings. Taking care of another living creature can show us what we need to do to take care of ourselves. And it's just good old-fashioned companionship. Benji is super affectionate. He hangs out with me all the time, follows me around like a puppy. Pets are proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. It didn't mean for us to be alone. You know, with all the new tech coming out, the disruptive tech, relative to the past 20 years, I'd say, we have to be extra vigilant about not getting sucked into these feedback loops and dopamine loop. These tech companies figure out how to hack our biology and our psychology and use it against us, get us addicted to that stuff. And literally, so much of our economy is based off of things that hook us, whether it's fast food, literal drugs, or products that are harmful to us and to our psychology. And I would hope in the future people, the consumer is not preyed upon to such an extent as we are today. We need to do better about that. I'm all about a greasy burger, but you can have good food and good burgers without addictive chemicals. I like those cravings you have for McDonald's is a literal addiction. It's a physical craving. That's not good. It doesn't mean it's a good thing. It means you're addicted to it. That's how withdrawals work in other drugs. We're on to more pleasant things today. I don't feel like ranting all day. This is my Fast and French mug. I get it from Fast and French, a French place, obviously, in Charleston, South Carolina, near the Judicial Center on Broad Street. And whenever I go see my sister and her new baby in Charleston, I go there. On Thursdays they have good fondue. You can always get cafe creams, which is vanilla ice cream and coffee. It's super indulgent and super indulgent and decadent is the word I'm looking for. I have about 2 or 3 of those cafe cream coffees every time I go there. They have Kronenberg beer, which is one of the few places that serves French beer in the city. It's the drink of the Legionnaires, French Foreign Legion. I almost joined that thing. I was in Charleston learning French because I had this romantic idea that I would just get a new identity because I had a shitty credit score in France fighting for the French Foreign Legion. And then I met Amanda Isabella. So I would have probably been dead had I not met Amanda, in all honesty, because the French Foreign Legion is the cannon fodder of France. They don't use their own people for anything. But some people are attracted to shit like that and get off on it. Let's play, shall we? I've been so happy that I just get to jam all day and write books and hang out with my parents. That was American Gangster. And now I'm getting into Cinnamon Hearts. I've noticed that if I play just a little bit every day, I can maintain a solid skill level. And it's easier and easier for me to write new stuff. There's a book by Masamoto Musashi, who was like a 15th century samurai, who wrote a book called The Book of Five Rings. It's a book on military strategy, but also it's kind of teaches you how to think critically, and how to learn. It teaches you how to learn other skills. So if you can teach yourself how to learn, you can teach yourself any other skill. It's a brilliant concept. The Japanese do have a really awesome culture. It's very noble. Not all Asian cultures are equal. The Chinese had spent all their time developing as an empire, even, but never really left their own boundaries to go empire abroad. They have a very sophisticated system of like poetry and internal mythos in their own bureaucratic systems of government and culture. And this was lost in the Cultural Revolution of Mao, which is one of the biggest crimes in the Eastern world of ever, really. So much was lost that is culturally significant to the Chinese people by communism. Communism was cooked up by the United States bankers and financiers as a way to destroy Russia, and was pushed on them as a revolutionary shit to kill the Tsar and get back at the Tsar, because the Tsar of Russia did not go along with the central banking schemes of the international Jewish bankers 100 years ago. And they've been trying to destroy Russia ever since and have almost succeeded. And, you know, these same international bankers destroyed the South with the Civil War, which was a British thing and a banking thing that Andrew Jackson fought his whole life to keep out the South and out of the United States, and succeeded. And the banks were only able to come back and grow back around the throat of America once he was dead. You have to be eternally vigilant when it comes to bankers. If we don't win our sovereignty, every American generation will send its young men to war, enforcing the banking cartels of England. And that's just a fact. That's just how the world works. It's not something everybody has to obsess over all the time, because I think about it enough for everyone. I think that's how it feels like anyway. Check out a publication called Modern Money Mechanics. It's a publication put out by the Federal Reserve itself. It explains fractional reserve banking, and everyone should try to understand what fractional reserve banking is and how it operates. They can print money out of thin air, and then, because not everyone withdraws money at the same time, can lend out more money than they have, even in theory. And this is kind of the reason for our wealth in some ways, because we can take $1 and like inject it full of steroids through like accounting fuckery and clerical stuff, and just go nuts with it. That's the basis for the American Empire. But it's really the British Empire enforced by Americans. It is the British banking empire enforced by the American military. And no more American blood should be shed for Britain. We have plenty of shit to worry about for ourselves, and should worry about our own sovereignty first and foremost, before anything else. We won't be able to start fixing things until we have sovereignty, and that's just a fact. Alright, let's get to it. been so much fun getting to play. And I keep saying that. I say that every time I do this, but it's true. I've grown my hair out and tried to be some kind of rock star, but I don't really ascribe to some outdated concept of a rock star. I very much am more comfortable with the DIY indie rocker aesthetic. It fits me better. I was dating this Russian diplomat girl, and she once asked me what drew me to like service initially, and I was like 9/11. 9/11 is like cannot be underestimated as how impactful that was to my generation. So many guys that were my friends in high school joined the military like almost immediately after 9/11. And you can say what you want about politicians lying to us and people and all kind of stuff, but the impulse to protect your country is always going to be the right thing to do, regardless of how power uses that impulse. It's not the fault of my friends and a bunch of at the time 18, 19-year-old kids. We didn't have any control over what our government did. I've been on it's part of my job kind of to be on social media and try to promote myself online, because I'm trying to get off disability by making money of my own through my creative business, and I'm always on social media, and there's always some communist jackass that loves to bash the military and call us losers and shit for being patriotic, right? And it's like, it doesn't even bother me anymore. It's just sad. These guys are so brainwashed that they actively promote the ideology of their sworn enemy, and actively hate and bash on the men that protect them and die for them. It's so fucked up. I love that lick. It's so fun. hope you're having a good day. I've been able to string together a few nice days in a row. And I think all my success has to do with being grateful and having a positive attitude and being optimistic. If you're in a place where you're stuck, I try everything you can to take time to get renewed and, be properly motivated to take care of yourself, both spiritually and physically and mentally in every other way. I was lucky that my ex-girlfriend found me the right doctors finally. As much shit as I talk on Facebook and stuff, my ex-girlfriend Amanda got me what I needed, and she cared about me deeply enough to get me help, and I've almost fully recovered. And I would not be here today and doing as well as I am, content and just chugging along, if Amanda hadn't stepped in and found me these doctors. I owe her so much, and she doesn't even talk to me anymore, which is very painful for me, but it is what it is. So many people, especially women, come into my life really fast because they're attracted to some romantic notion of an artist or musician or poet or whatever. And I make very intense, deep connections with them. And then they just kind of flake and never speak to me again. And it keeps happening over and over. And if I was smart, I'd figure out what was going on. I don't have the self-awareness to fully dissect that enough to change it. So I just keep looking for the next partner. I'm like eternally in search of the right muse, the perfect companion, that woman that embodies everything you're looking for as an artist. The type of woman that inspires men to go to war over millennia and write classic literature. Those women exist. They're all over the world. The species couldn't survive without them. Nor could the species survive without masculine guys. Patriotic masculine guys. It's fucking necessary. There's kind of a crisis happening right now amongst many crises of men's mental health. And it doesn't get talked about ever. So many guys that I know have died deaths of despair through suicide or alcoholism or drug overdoses. And it's unacceptable. We have to do better for our men. And while the left loves to screech about minorities and women, nobody's talking about guys. Nobody is talking about men's rights and the epidemic of suicide, which almost exclusively affects young men, and completed suicide. Women attempt suicide more, but usually use pills and less violent final means. So, if you've got like a young guy, especially this younger generation of guys coming up. They're like even more prone to anxiety and depression than our generation, and man, it's tough. Growing up in the era of social media and having their entire lives on display and in the panopticon, as it were, has really fucked them up. And if we were any good as a society, we would have prevented that by making sure we study the effects of social media on our kids before subjecting them to it. But we just threw it on them, and they're paying the consequences for it. If you like my stuff, I have podcasts. I have a podcast called Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man, available on Spotify or wherever you get your streaming or podcasts. It's also on YouTube for free, and also on StephenLeake.com. I have an ebook of my poetry collections, Life Through the Pines and Truth is Power. Truth is Power is also coming out in a paperback, Christmas 2025, and as well as a double vinyl album, Truth is Power / Love Kills. It's one half acoustic, one half like experimental electric. It's the culmination of years of work on my part. And I've got a concert coming up September 27th out here at my place. And I'm giving everybody who comes a vinyl album and other swag and t-shirts and stuff. So the tickets are only $25. It's really meant, I just do that so I can like keep track. And it's really meant for my personal friends and hometown York, South Carolina people to come see me so I can show them what I've been doing with my life. I can't wait to see everybody and reconnect. so fun to play. Always figured if it was fun for me to play, it would be fun for you to listen to. That's kind of how I base my stuff off of. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really look forward to this to start my day off in the mornings. I'm not gonna solicit a bunch of information about my business and websites today, because I feel like I do that enough most days. But I could use some sales with my albums and other stuff to help me get a microphone so I can start recording these other songs that I've just come up with and just written. So if you think about it and you like my stuff, consider buying an album or something else. But I'm not going to starve if you don't. It's for fun, and I do it to entertain myself and my friends, really, and I enjoy it. So I encourage everybody to figure out, take time out of your life to figure out what you enjoy and what brings you happiness, and pursue it with all of your might. We're going to have a good day. Go out there and kick some ass for me. These are epic times, and you should be happy and proud of yourself just for surviving it, truly. And I'll be right here. I'm in York, South Carolina, just up the road for a lot of you. You can always come see me if you want. I'm always here. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm Stephen Leake. We're going to win.